Hello, mic check 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Good morning, and thanks so much for joining us with After GMS. It's just about 7:47 right now. A great morning, nice and cool out there, but the warm-up is on the way. So meteorologist Taran Kirksey, take it away here. How warm will we get?
Well, today we'll see our high temperatures eventually work their way up into the mid to upper 70s. We'll see some cloud cover from time to time, just high thin clouds, though it's not going to be overcast or anything like that. So not a bad day today. The clouds will thicken up though the next couple of days. Mostly cloudy tomorrow, small chance of an isolated shower, and then we'll see a better chance of more widespread rainfall Thursday night on into Friday. That'll push our high temperatures back down into the 60s and maybe low 70s if we're lucky. That's a quick look at your 7-day forecast.
All right, so Taran, we appreciate the afternoon highs. If we can get rid of these overnight lows, we'll be good to go. I guess that's fall, right? All right, we'll jump right into today's conversations. Governor Roy Cooper says coronavirus numbers are stable and the state can continue the reopening process. So Stacey, let's let you take over here. It means fans will soon be back in the stands.
Yeah, that's right. Fans can attend games at large outdoor venues starting next Friday. Venues with a capacity of 10,000 people, they can open to 7% capacity. So at Bank of America Stadium, where 75,000 people can attend, that means they can have 5,200 fans. This will also apply to some university football stadiums if they decide to allow fans as well. So you can let us know right now on the Facebook live stream if this is something you would be interested in doing, something you feel comfortable doing. Keep weighing in. I'm going to start monitoring those comments. I think that honestly, I would be okay with this, knowing that it's such a big place that a lot of people can spread out. I'd be fine with going to a game, and I would definitely be excited to go back to see some live, sports action again.
Yeah, and who do they choose, though, to go to the games? Like, if you bought tickets and, the other 9,000 people bought tickets, like, who decides who gets to go? Is it going to be season ticket holders who are VIP members? Is it going to be a lottery? That's what I'm curious to figure out. So before I get my hopes up about maybe attending Wake Forest, because we do have season tickets to Wake Forest games this year. Before I get my hopes up, I'm going to just be like, okay, let's see what they say about who's coming in first, and then I'll start either getting exciting or figuring out what I'm going to do. But right now, I don't think I'm on the list.
Yeah, I think they would probably give first dibs to season ticket holders as well. That would not be me, but I'd be interested to go to a game. I agree with what Stacey said. I've been comfortable lately doing things outside as long as the capacity limits are pretty low and people are distanced. So if these stadiums can make it financially feasible to open to at least some fans and operate with that 7% capacity, and fans are comfortable going, this might be an okay opportunity for them to do something that is maybe generally safer than, say, eating inside at a restaurant.
Yeah, if you compare the two, a restaurant is closed off, whereas a sports venue is wide and there's plenty of space. A park, for instance, would be similar to that. So, Taran Kirksey, is that enough space for you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like you're saying, open air stadium is wide open. And if you only have a few thousand people, in a stadium that can hold tens of thousands of people, that's the same as being spread out at a park, I would think. So, as long as people follow whatever rules are set into place, I think that probably be just fine.
Yeah, so funny story here. I'm locked out of my Facebook page and I've been locked out for about 48 hours now. I can't do anything. No. I know. So I can't even read the comments. This is literally a prop at this point. So one of you will have to take over and look at what people are saying because I'm still locked out. So Stace, how about you? Funny story.
Yeah, I can totally take over. Some people weighing in. Denise says, not yet for me. Jason mentioned, very interested, just wondering where Governor Cooper got 7% from. Another person said, not at all unless the seats are ushered in and assigned. People also saying that they just want the state to open up completely.
Yeah, a lot of people wondering still about that 7%. How did he come up with that number? Is that realistic for some of these other venues? I mean, obviously the football stadiums where the players are playing are going to open anyway for the games, but is it sustainable for some of these smaller event spaces that are outside, like racetracks, to be able to operate with that low percentage cap? We'll have to see what happens. And again, the governor did indicate yesterday that based on these stable COVID-19 numbers, we could see more of the reopening plan being phased in as soon as next Friday, October 2nd, which is when the current phase 2.5 is expected to end. Cooper did not indicate what, if anything, more could reopen. We know theaters remain closed, bars remain closed, indoor event spaces remain closed. We have our big, beautiful new Tanger Center in downtown Greensboro sitting empty for the inaugural, or what was supposed to be the inaugural season. So still a lot of unknowns, but looking at the COVID numbers and the key metrics that the state health leaders say they are watching too and making these determinations, they look okay. They're at least holding stable for now.
Well, there was a thread on Twitter the other day that said, was making fun of Governor Cooper's phase 2.5 in advance of phase 3. And everybody was saying, like, oh, we're going to phase 2.8, and making fun of it, making light of it that way. There are some jokes that you can make about the different phases, but what is not a laughing matter is, of course, the number of people who are dying from COVID-19. So, I guess safety first, right? That's the thing, but it would be great for the state, to be at a comfortable level where we can just start being and living and doing again.
Yeah.
We'll see when we get there.
And I think that's the positive outlook on it, is that we are able to start doing more. And I think that that's where we need to look at is, hey, our numbers are looking a lot better. And the fact that we can even attend a football game possibly just should make a lot of people excited.
I think it's still important to remember, though, even though these numbers look better, people are wearing their masks and they are abiding by these restrictions in place. So once you do start to open things up, I think we all have a sense of responsibility to try to maintain that even playing field as far as wearing our masks and being careful and continuing to wash our hands so that these numbers don't go up again and so these businesses don't have to close again, because I don't know if all these businesses that have had to stay closed for 6 months can continue sustaining that or could weather a potential future shutdown if the numbers were to spike again.
All right, well, Megan, I know that you watch the numbers every day and you'll have another update for us at noon, but right now let's turn to our morning headlines.
Let's do that. Campaign 2020 big in North Carolina again this week. It's very busy. Democratic nominee Joe Biden will stop in Charlotte today. Still some vague details on where he'll be. They're not public yet, but we'll keep you updated. Tomorrow, President Trump will also campaign in Charlotte. His organizers are still finalizing event details for that as well. New this morning, Winston-Salem firefighters say dozens of people are affected by an early morning apartment fire. It happened off of Motor Road around 3 this morning. 27 people don't have a place to stay right now, but thankfully no one was hurt. So far, no word on what started this fire, but we'll keep you updated when we learn more. This weekend's football game between Wake Forest and Notre Dame is off. A big disappointment for fans. The Fighting Irish were forced to cancel after 8 players tested positive for COVID. Athletic officials are now looking at dates to reschedule the game. This is the 4th ACC game affected because of COVID issues. Just 1 week left to fill out the 2020 census. So far, 62% of North Carolinians have self-responded and filled out the census on their own. Taking a closer look at the county-by-county numbers in the Triad, in Guilford County, 68% have responded. In Alamance, 65%. In Forsyth County, 64%. The highest responding North Carolina county is Union County, with 73% of residents there already filling it out. Again, the deadline is September 30th.
All right, next up, we're talking about your cell phone or your tablet, whatever you use to communicate often. We all have them. So how much do you really love them? Stacey, this conversation is going to put that to the test big time.
Oh yeah, so we want to know, what would you be willing to sacrifice for a month to keep your smartphone? A survey from the website Simply Texting polled 1,000 people with smartphones. 40% say they would rather be separated from their dog than their phone. 44% say they would spend less time with a significant other in order to keep their phone. And 64% say they could skip coffee to keep their smartphone. I asked on my Facebook page what people would sacrifice to keep their smartphones. Greg said he would go without Netflix or movies for a month, but he loves his phone because it keeps him connected to so much. I have to agree with him. I was just thinking about it. I could do away with social media and maybe texting, but I love to have the ability to keep up with my family back home in Arkansas. And honestly, I could not get anywhere without the GPS on my phone.
Yeah, that's a good point, but I would still choose the personal connection over a cell phone. I would never get rid of my family, my pets, things that I love for a cell phone that I only use for convenience. I could do without it. I have done without it. I've completely logged off for weeks at a time and loved it. And I would look forward to doing it again real soon. Well, I'm locked out of Facebook, so I'm halfway doing it right now.
I think everybody needs a social media break every once in a while, whether by choice or just because it happened in Tracy's case. But, I think I could probably give up my phone instead of giving up all of those other things. How could you give up your pet? I mean, your pet needs you. What are they going to do? I can't picture giving up my cat Milo, or of course, can't give up my baby or anything else you mentioned on that list, coffee. I think I would take coffee even over the phone, Stacey. So, you know, I think this is definitely eye-opening as far as indicating how reliant we are on these little devices. Do you remember the days when we actually used to use a map to get to where we needed to go, or even more recently, printing out those directions on MapQuest? Now we're so reliant on these phone GPS mapping systems. I think it's affecting our ability to memorize routes and where we need to go. I mean, I almost forgot how to get to work after working from home and maternity leave for all those months. It's bad.
Got funny story. I was working here 2006 and I was covering Rockingham County, and you know, it's a very big county and everything is kind of spread out between Wentworth and Reedsville, Eden. And so I opened up my map book to like try to find where I was going. And the intern I was with was like, why don't you just put it in your GPS? I was like, GP what? She's like, why don't you just use your phone?
Gosh.
I'm like, my phone has one? She's like, mine does. She typed in the address and we were there in like 30 minutes. I was like, what? I had no idea that this was even a thing. So it definitely has helped me, especially in news deadlines, and now I use it all the time. But I could still go without it because I know how to read a map. Taran, are you good at the maps, or are you GPS reliant?
Oh, yeah, I grew up using the maps. You know, when I was a little kid and we were on family vacations, I was the navigator. So they just hand me the atlas and we would, you know, work out our route and figure out, you know, where we were going. You know, phones are nice and all, but they're supposed to be tools. You know, I think we've gone from them being things that, you know, we use just to, you know, as a tool to almost running our lives. And that's something I don't like about them. I mean, for the most part, I use my phone mainly for work stuff, and occasionally I'll answer a phone call. Most of the time, no, but occasionally I'll answer a phone call or something like that, you know, or send a text message. But it's just, there's something nice about just sitting outside, and I try to take time every day, just sit outside when it's not cold and just leave my phone inside. If I miss a phone call, oh well, who cares? I'll call them back, maybe or maybe not. I don't know. You know, it'll be okay. Like, the world's going to keep spinning if you don't have your phone with you for a day or two, or in this case, several weeks. So, you know, I think I'd give up my phone too, like everybody else was saying, at least for a little while.
And it could be just because we use it so much in our industry. You know, we're reliant on it now for Zoom calls and text messages to let our EP know that we're running late, which is me every day. And, you know, we just use it so much that it's now become like a necessity in our lives, but really, is it? I mean, could we do without it? Sure we can. So,
Right.
Stacey, what are people saying on Facebook right now?
Well, a lot of people are saying they would never give up their pets or their family. That was Debbie. And Dee Dee said, I wouldn't give up anything because I would rather go back to old school and just use a regular landline to call family. Violet said, I'd probably give up coffee. Wendell said, take my phone and the coffee. I'll sleep better. Debbie actually said she still has a landline, but I have to save the best for last. Bobby says, I would sacrifice my pizza, but never my dog.
Never the dog. Never.
But pizza's
No.
okay. Depends on the toppings. You know what I mean?
You know, I think it's also hard. We use our phones as cameras now. A lot of people no longer have just standard cameras. It's our phone. And when you have kids and you're trying to document them as they grow up, because they change every day, so often we are on our phone for those picture purposes. And then, of course, while you have your phone out, you're checking your emails, maybe sending a text. So I have caught even myself saying, okay, wait, am I missing out on the actual moment by trying to document it and having my phone always in front of me? And then when you go on vacation, you see everybody taking pictures of all these landmarks, but they're failing to see these things with their own eyes when they're actually there. So it's just kind of the irony of all this.
I knew when it was bad in my house when I took out my phone to make a phone call. And my kids just stopped where they were in the kitchen and were like, cheese. And I'm like, oh no, I'm calling someone. I'm not taking a picture. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is real. Like, they think whenever they see the phone that I'm going to take a picture. And I was like, okay, I got to put this away. And you know, I'll still make my phone calls, but we have a landline also. So I want to teach them that they have a house phone. So now I'll pick up the house phone and they don't stop where they're going and smile and say cheese anymore, which is good. But that's when I knew, I'm like, ooh, I might have a problem with taking pictures of my kids.
Hey, it's normal, I think. At least I figured that out very quickly. But you're right, a good reality check and just a reminder that, yeah, sometimes we just want to live in the moment. Put the phone down.
All right, well, let's live in the 70-degree high temperatures for the next few weeks. Can we do that, Taran?
We'll see what we can do.
Oh.
I'll try. You'll definitely want to live in the moment and make today last as long as possible, because it's going to be a pretty nice day. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds with some high cloud cover moving in from time to time with high temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. And then as we go into Thursday, we're looking at partly to mostly cloudy skies, small chance of an isolated shower. And then Friday appears to be a wet day for at least part of the day, with those rain chances going up late Thursday night on into Friday with the clouds and the rain around. Looks like most of us will probably stay in the 60s for highs on Friday, but a few of us may briefly sneak up to the low 70s. And then as the rain chance goes down a little bit for the rest of the weekend, we'll see our temperatures go back up into the mid to upper 70s. I will tell you, there is still some uncertainty that's higher than usual for 5 days out as to the timing and also the amounts of rain that we may see, especially on Sunday. So we'll keep you updated on that. But in the meantime, today looks pretty nice. So get out there and enjoy it.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much for weighing in on all of these discussions. A lot of folks continuing to say that they don't have a landline phone. That's a conversation for another day. I think that could stand on its own for sure. We don't have one. Anyway, I think we just started another conversation
That could
here.
be one for tomorrow.
Yes, so hold your thoughts if you're still weighing in on this.
Pause the call.
Maybe. Remember when we were on hold? Anyway, we digress.
Three-way calling.
Hey, thanks so much for spending time with us here on After GMS. We'll see you back at 7:45 on Facebook Live tomorrow.
Take care, everybody. Stay safe.